Moving around on the ground, that's one of our fundamental skills. I call the category crawl, but that just means we have all 4 limbs active on the ground somehow. Here are 3 actual crawls that are going to be great to use in our programs, because each one of these brings a different version of awareness to the table. And when using all 4 limbs at the same time, good things happen. It's truly more challenging than most people think it is. So let's play a little. The first is going to be a bear crawl. I usually start this from a downward facing dog position. So you could even start from a child's pose. Keep those hands and feet the same distance apart and drive your hips way up. And then all 4 limbs relax. All 4 limbs are bouncy. All 4 limbs. Not just the knees, but the arms as well. They have a bounce to them, because then you can move from that bounce. Backwards, forwards, sideways, in circles, wherever you feel like going. You're bouncy. Trouncy, trouncy, fun, 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 fun. You are Tigger. That's a nice basic bear crawl, using all 4 limbs to be good and bouncy, keeping your hips up high, being able to go wherever you want, in any direction you want. There are so many versions of that you can mess with that we'll be playing with throughout the program as well. But for now, just keep a nice, loose, bouncy bear. The one thing to consider when you're crawling, opposite arm and leg move at the same time. It's really tempting after a while to start going same arm and leg. That tends to feel more natural for some people, so let's work on opposite arm and leg. So as I'm up in the air, nice and bouncy, opposite arm and leg moves at the same time, in both directions. Just give that a try. We call this next one the gorilla. Other people have different names for it, that's fine. The gorilla to us is simply being able to move 2 hands and then 2 feet at the same time, no matter which direction. I'll start nice and low in a squat. Might be on my toes, might be on my heels, depends on how comfortable you are squatting. But I like the toe version because I get a little more spring. So I'm going to take 2 hands and put them somewhere. This time I'm going to go sideways. Put them beyond my feet, and then I take the feet to the other side. Now I can keep going, or I can come back. 2 hands, 2 feet. 2 hands, 2 feet. I'm staying nice and low on this one. From a squat, into a squat, back to a squat. You can, but you can play with this one. Let your hips come up a little bit if you want. So you get a little bit of hang time there. You can even do what's called a piking gorilla, where I'm going to straighten my legs out entirely. But that's just an advanced, fun little version. So the gorilla category, where you take 2 hands and 2 feet, can go anywhere. If I put my 2 hands out this way, I'll put my 2 feet somewhere. Put my 2 hands this way, put my 2 feet somewhere. I can put my hands back here and go backwards. So I can go forward, I can go backward, I can go in circles, or half circles, or semicircles. 2 hands land, 2 feet follow. That's it. Where the hands go, where the feet go is entirely up to you. Might make a straight line. It might go in crazy directions. That's yours. It's now your gorilla. Have some fun with it. The crab crawl is simply all hands and feet on deck, except I'm facing up. And my hips are facing up, and everything's facing up. And then I just move from this position. Maybe I go this way, maybe I go this way. Now crabs, as an actual creature, go sideways, but that one's actually pretty tough to do as a human. So you can take your crab wherever you want. You can also play with hip position. If I want to make this challenging, make it more of a shoulder stretch, I can drive my hips higher and see how that works. A little tougher. So stay as low or as high as you want. Just get comfortable moving around from your crab. Where can you go from here? That's a crab crawl. One of my favorite versions of crawling is having something to crawl on, like a tree branch, or in this case, a balance beam. This is a nice low balance beam, so I feel safe. But I'm going to crawl on it. And if I happen to fall, it's 5 inches. Not going to die. So I'm going to bear crawl on this, and it's going to be a little different from your normal on the ground bear crawl. Your feet and hands might feel better a little closer together. Your hips might be high or low, depending on what feels good. It's the movement itself. Not only am I crawling by moving my hands and feet, but but I'm also pushing my hands into the beam a little bit to keep my structure nice and solid, turning on my lats to keep some support. In the beginning, I'm going to recommend 3 points of contact at all times. So one hand comes up, then the foot, then the hand, then the foot, then the hand, then the foot. You can go backwards too, same thing, foot, hand, foot, hand. Eventually, you can probably do both at the same time. But in the beginning, go nice and slow. Take your time, have some fun with it. Hopefully you can get yourself a decent little balance beam to play with. Or find a good tree and a nice thick branch to play with that's not too far from the ground.